Hello, my advice goes to these young South Sudanese that are taking part in Ugandan podcasting. And some of the statements that are coming out from them are sometimes misleading, or they are said with no context or with no clear message actually. One of the videos that emerged recently is about the wordings from that young girl. When she mentioned that the Dinka are superior, they think that they are superior than the rest of the tribes. I wrote a very lengthy clarification on that matter. Listen, the issue of intermarriages in South Sudan is not cultural, is not communal. It is influenced by individual choices, from family to sections, and every community, whether they are Equatorian tribes within themselves, the Dinka themselves, or even the Dinka themselves are the most diverse communities. Sometimes they don't allow intermarriages between themselves, not because of superiority or inferiority. It is because that the main culture that used to be with the Dinka is that they always want their daughters where they can support them and where they can still access them. Take example, if my daughter was to be married from Dinka Bor to Malwal or to Western Bargazal, I will always have a choice to say, look, my daughter, you love that man, but the distance, we don't know much about that family. That is the only condition that will not allow. But she may sometime argue and say, no, that is the choice I've made. So she can go. When it comes to Dinka and the Nuer, there are intermarriages that are backdating to hundreds of years. You need to understand too, Dinka and the Nuer are one community. They are one community. They may have different languages, but they are people of the same cultures and the same identity. In Bull, in Nyong, Lek, Jagai, that is the Western Nuer, and Panyijar, all in their borders, they are getting married to Dinka. And the Dinka from the same borders are getting married to Nuer. In Mayom, in Biemnum, in Pariang, in all the Ruang areas, or Panaru areas, they are getting married to Nuer, and Nuer are getting married to the Dinka. In PG County, you cannot identify who is a Nuer and who is a Dinka. A lot of, and who is a Cholo. A lot of intermarriages. In Ngong Luale Yak area, you cannot identify who is a Nuer and who is a Dinka, and who is a Cholo, because they are intermarrying each other. In Gawer, in Gawer and Law, the same thing with Nyarweng. There are Dinka that speak Nuer in Abram or in Panyang County of Duk, Panyang of Duk. People speak Nuer. They intermarry with each other. So this idea that there is, okay, in Mundari, between Mundari and people of Kolnyang, the people of Kolnyang intermarry with Mundari more than any other tribes, more than the Dinka themselves. Why? Because they are the borders. If you go to Kaltok, the Dinka of Aliap intermarry with the Mundari. You go to Tali, the Atut and the Aliap marry with the Mundari. The Dinka Bor marry with the Bari. So this idea that there is a perception that there is a tribe that is superior than the other tribe, it is a fabrication. Yes, there are prejudice, and these prejudices are even communal. At the end of the day, within the Nilotic community, there is no daughter for the community. A daughter belongs to the father and the family. And the family are the one that can make a choice based on the condition known to them. A condition may be that they are not familiar with the values of that particular family. So then at the end of the day, they will choose to say, look, we don't need to intermarry with this. There are other conditions as well. Maybe in the previous years, or maybe more than 10 years down the line, these two clans, somebody killed somebody within the clans. And all the cultural taboos and all the cultural processes of forgiveness have not been done. It is called Melin Tongajeng. That concept says, look, if we have not cut this, if we have not stopped this, we have not made the compensation, the person that, and no prayers have been held, then marriages are not going to happen. This can go, it can be generational. You young people who are going to schools in Uganda, you young people who are going to schools in Kenya, you need to teach yourself about your cultures. Don't assume things. It seems like you went to schools and you know nothing about your cultures. Prejudices are sectional, they are clan-based, they are communal-based, and they all go. So it is not about 64 tribes of South Sudan. Within the Dinka themselves, there are Dinka that don't want to marry with other Dinka. There are Nuer who don't want to marry with other Nuer. There are, within Equatorian, there is nothing common about Equatorian. There are different tribes, different languages, even the Bari speakers. The Bari speakers, whether Kakoku, Kupo, Yulu, Kalikos, or the Lulubo, or the Bari, or the Mundari, they also have their own prejudice. Whether you go to the Bantu communities, you talk of Zande, you talk of Borbalanda, or you talk of the Parti tribes, they have their own prejudice. You go to the Luo communities, whether you talk of Peri, you talk of the Anuak, the Acholi, the Luos of Bargazal, and then the Cholo. Do they agree in one? No. They have their own prejudice. So this idea that you are going to foreign podcast and then give half a story is silly. In Uganda, okay, can Teso just marry Acholi? No. They have their own prejudice. Can Buganda just go and marry Banyakoli?